Today I fucked up by incorrectly taking creatine. This happened about 3–4 hours ago and I can't see it stopping anytime soon. And #X200B. So as the title states, I took creatine today for the first time. The instructions on the back are split into a loading and maintenance phase. It says I'm supposed to take 10–12 scoops, 25 grams 30 grams depending on your weight, of creatine for the first week and then 5 grams per day after that. Well, what it didn't say is that you are supposed to split the 25 grams up and take them split up 3–5 times a day, so 5 grams 5 times a day or around 15 grams 3 times a day. I sadly learned that. Well, the liquid way. And #X200B. After about an hour and a half my stomach was not upset but raging and gurgling like it was about to explode. Thank God I was at the gas station on my way to work about a minute away from my house, so I turned around to go home to go poop. And I am very glad I made that choice. And #X200B. As I planted my cheeks on my porcelain throne, I proceeded to experience what could only be described as Niagara Falls. The sheer volume of liquid evacuating my bowels was alarming and left me feeling like I just got my guts vacuumed out. And #X200B. After getting to work I have gone to the little boy's room 2 more times and I am worried that I will not be able to make it a third time since my job requires me to be in the room I'm working for 5-hour segments with no break, because if I'm not there the job literally cannot be done, and then a good 30 minutes break after each segment. Wish me luck. And #X200B. And #X200B. Too long did not read. Didn't know how to properly load on creatine, resulting in me having a very upset bowel. Edit. I realized I wrote in one of the comments I'ma do what the packaging says. I mean to say I was gonna do what the packaging says. I have very much learned my lesson with my round 5 of creatine funtime. Edit 2. I have reread the instructions on the packaging and compared it to the version in my native language on their website. On the package they are in English. And it states that I was supposed to take the 30 grams split into 5 doses, so 5 grams 6 times a day. I am big stupid AMD, my dyslexia didn't help me. Edit 3. Thank you all for the tips AMD advice with creatine. I have definitely learned my lesson and will stick to the non-loading phase. The loading phase is just to get you to use more creatine anyway. 5 grams every day is plenty. Jesus 10–12 scoops, your poor kidneys. The loading phase is mostly marketing to make you use more. Creatine is one of the most abundant, safest, and studied supplements. Just take the 5 gram serving size. The loading phase is bullshit anyways, just a way to get you to use more or the product. 5 grams daily and you're good. Creatine shits. Today I fucked up by accidentally revealing my secret identity to my entire office. So, this actually happened earlier today, and I'm still reeling from the sheer embarrassment of it all. For context, I work in a pretty average office setting, but my colleagues and I like to spice things up with themed dress-up days every now and then. This week, we all agreed to come in dressed as our favorite superheroes. Naturally, I was super excited to participate. I've always been a huge fan of superheroes, and I have this awesome Batman costume I've been itching to wear ever since I got it for Halloween last year. So, I woke up early, got dressed in my full Bat regalia, and even went as far as doing the full Batman voice to complete the persona. I was ready to show up to work and save the day. As soon as I walked into the office, I could tell that something was off. People were staring at me with a mixture of confusion, amusement, and just a hint of terror. I figured they were just in awe of my Batman transformation and didn't think much of it. My manager approached me with a stifled laugh and asked, "Hey, Batman, did you happen to check your email this morning?" I replied, still in character, "Email? Batman has no need for such trivial matters." My manager then explained that there had been a last-minute email sent out last night, postponing the dress-up day to next week due to an important client meeting scheduled for today. My face went beet red as I realized I was standing in the middle of the office, dressed as Batman, with zero context to justify it. To make matters worse, the important client arrived just in time to witness my embarrassment. They were surprisingly cool about it, even joking that they felt safer with Batman around. Still, I spent the rest of the day hiding in my cubicle, answering calls in my best Bruce Wayne voice, and praying for the sweet release of the end of the workday. Now I'm sitting at home, in full Batman attire, contemplating how I'm going to show my face at the office on Monday. Too long did not read. I dressed up as Batman for a themed dress-up day at work. not realizing it had been postponed, and ended up revealing my secret identity to my entire office and an important client. To be honest, there is context to justify it. Who checks their email late at night? Not me for sure. And you sound like a fun guy. Wouldn't be too embarrassed. Just laugh at it yourself. One more fun anecdote. You can dress up as Bruce Wayne next week. My manager then explained that there had been a last-minute email sent out last night. I was standing in the middle of the office, dressed as Batman, with zero context to justify it. That's perfect justification. You check your work email before coming to work? No. I don't do work outside of work hours. Batman voice, too busy fighting crime. Own it. It was funny. It'll be a great story when you retire. I don't get it. What's so embarrassing about this? Today I fucked up by accidentally going on a date. I, 24F, work in a professional setting where networking is very common. I met an older man, maybe in his 50s, while waiting in a lobby for a meeting and started chatting about what we do for work. We exchanged business cards, and when he followed up with me, I suggested we grab coffee so I can learn more about what he does. He told me he's busy during the day, and he'd prefer to shoot for an after-work meeting. I agreed and worked with his assistant to set up dinner. Well, dinner was interesting. The entire time, he told me how pretty I am and even insinuated that if we get to that point, he would cook for me. It was about then that I realized this was in fact a date. It was solidified in my head when I realized he didn't have a wedding band on. FML. He paid for dinner, of course. After dinner, he stated that he wanted to walk me back to my office, and on the way, he took off his jacket and put it on me. He shifted to the outside of the sidewalk and insisted that as a woman I should be walking on the inside of the sidewalk. He then said that, as long as I'm with him, I won't be touching any doors. Then he offered to walk me to my car, but I declined and thanked him. I think the worst part is that I'm in a serious relationship and didn't even mention my partner once because at some point during the dinner he started talking about religion, so I didn't feel safe mentioning my partner. I'm gay. My partner and I laughed it off later, but I still felt horrible. I definitely learned my lesson. Too long did not read. I accidentally went on a date with an older man and very quickly learned that apparently asking men to dinner is a date, even if asked in a professional setting. Edit. Typo fix. If they asked for an after-work meeting, in those words, that's a fuck-up on his part, not yours. A date is a date. A meeting is a meeting. And both are vastly different thing in this context. Did you keep the jacket? A friend of mine has accidentally been in similar situations. Her remedy to avoid it in the future has been to never agree to dinner. To her, breakfast is fine. Lunch might be pushing it a bit, but dinner so many times insinuates it's a date instead of a professional networking opportunity. Guys are terrible at reading signals or the lack of them. Source. Me, a guy. Why did I feel creeped out by his every word and action?